Welcome to Embrace Your Fantasy. I'm Te-Erika. I'm here in Miami, and yes, I am your future relationship therapist, doing the best I can to get through school so that I'll be able to take on clients and help them to become their best selves, to love themselves as they are, their true selves, and to have better relationships with everyone that comes into contact with them. So I'm really excited tonight. I wanted to do a video, and I believe a lot of people will benefit from seeing this. This video is about forgiving your parents. Now, we all have relationships with our parents. Some of them may be close and some may not as intimate as others, and we all hope for that intimacy, that love, that acceptance unconditionally from our parents, but sometimes we just don't get it. So what can we do if we're frustrated because our parents aren't loving us the way that we believe we should be loved, and we're still hurting over old wounds from our past that are a result of our parents? Well, I came up with 4 tips that I want to share with you, and I hope you have an open and receiving heart. The first thing I want to share is, honestly, your parents did the best thing that they could. They did the best that they could. If they could have done better, then they would have. If they would have known better, then they would have. Think about the time you started anything new. You started a new project at work, or you started a new schooling, you started studying something different. You had no idea. You just had to fumble through it until you figured it out. And even though it doesn't sound that good, your parents really fumbled through parenting as they were growing and changing as people, and you're growing and changing as a person. You know, they did the best that they could with what they had and what they knew. So understand that your parents did the best that they could with you, and their best should be good enough for you. Honestly, your parents don't owe you anything. They gave life, and there's really no guidebook on how to raise your children, so they didn't do anything wrong per se. They just did what they knew how to do, and how to give, and how to show love, and how to show appreciation. And it's probably what they learned from their own parents, which takes me to number 2. Because your parents were who they were, and you may be still hurting from some of the things that went on in your childhood, you got to look at it as a benefit, because you now know what not to do when you have your own children, or now that you have your own children. If you were lacking affection in your childhood, make sure you give affection in plentiful amounts to your children. If you were lacking that friendship, if you were lacking whatever you felt like you were lacking, make sure you give it in abundance to your own children. Sometimes our parents teach us how to be better to our offspring. So take it as a lesson learned and do better. Number 3, listen, the role that they played in your life, it really helped to shape you into the person that you are right now. Whether you love who you are or not, you are you. And your parents gave you the gift of life by allowing you to come forth through their bodies. And you are who you are, and you are splendid and wonderful and powerful. And even if you don't recognize those traits in yourself right now, I'm telling you right now that they're true. So who they were in your life helped shape who you are. And we can appreciate our parents in hindsight, but at first, of course, we don't understand or even want to embrace it because we expect so many different things from them. But if my mom hadn't been so hands off with me as far as guidance, I would probably be dependent on her or other people to guide me. Because she was hands off, I had to make decisions for myself. I had to learn how to take care of myself. I had to learn how to go out and go after my own dreams, because I had nobody telling me to do it. And it made me stronger, and it made me know that I can handle anything that comes my way in this world, because I have me. And as long as I have me, then nobody else is of any consequence. You know, nobody else really matters, you know, because I have me and I know how to take care of me. And I learned that because I had to take care of me emotionally, you know, for my entire life. I'm not mad about it anymore. I'm cool. I'm good. Which leads me to the 4th thing that I really want to express, and this is the most important. That's why I left it for last. When we make demands and have expectations from others, it's very unlikely that they'll be able to meet them. You may think, oh, this is my mom, this is how she's supposed to be, she's supposed to bake brownies, she's supposed to go to PTA, she's supposed to be all about me, it's supposed to be all about what I'm supposed to do. Why does she act like that? Why does she dress like that? Why does she talk to me like that? Well, she does all those things because that's who she is. Or if it's your father, that's who he is. He may still have wounds from his childhood, or that may not enable him to connect with you in the way that you want. But the reality is, your expectations for him and your relationship have nothing to do with him. He never signed a written contract that said, okay, I'm your father, so this is all the things that I will do, and these are all the things that I will express to you in just the way that you like it. Nobody ever did that with him. And think about your friends. The friends that you have, they love you the way that they love you, whether you accept it or not. You know, they love you the way that you love you, and you accept them for who they are. You don't push your expectations. If you're my friend, you're supposed to do this. You don't really do that with your friends. You just love them to different degrees and have them in your life to different degrees. And our parents are the same way. They really owe us nothing. They gave us the gift of life. And beyond that, the guidance that they give us, the teachings that they teach us, the way they express themselves to us, we have to understand they're human just like we are. You know, they didn't get a guidebook, and even if they did, they have free will to follow it or not. And just because the next person has parents that are involved in their life and supportive and things like that, you never know what else is going on in their little intimate circle. You just have to be careful and be creative with the ways that you love yourself, and understanding that placing demands and expectations on anyone, your parents or not, is only a failure method, because you're demanding something and you're expecting something, and you're really disappointing yourself when you don't get it. So the misery that you feel right now over what somebody else didn't do is really a creation of your own. You want to feel miserable about what happened in your childhood with your parents. You want to place the blame on them. But really, it's up to you to snap out of that misery, to snap out of that pain, to recognize that they're humans just like you, and they're faulty, and that they do not have to realize the expectations or demands that you put onto them. If you take away expectations and demands from people in life in general, you'll live a happier life. Because now you're not looking for him to call her. Now you're not looking for her to offer that help that you need without you asking. And if you're not looking for it, if you don't get it, you can't be disappointed. So there is a process that I want to talk a little bit about. It's called reparenting. And I know that sounds crazy to you if you want to listen to it or not. You know, it's completely up to you. But it's a therapeutic process that I've done a bit of research on, and I find it to be very helpful. Like those things that you didn't get from your parents, those things that you wish you had learned from your parents, as an adult, it's time to start teaching yourself those things. You know the truths. You know those things that you wish you could have gotten, because if you didn't recognize them, then you wouldn't feel like you missed anything. So because you feel like you missed out on some things, maybe lack of affection, maybe guidance in career, or maybe spiritual guidance, you can now give those things to yourself. Yes, you can. You know the truths, and you don't necessarily need someone else to whisper it in your ear or teach you the truths and tell you that you're loved and tell you that you appreciate and tell you that you can be anything in this world. You don't need anybody else to tell you that. It's time to stand up, reparent yourself. Go from the very beginning. This is how you love others. This is how you show affection. This is how you show concern. All those things that you felt like you were missing out on that you should have been taught. Why don't you take a moment and teach yourself and embrace it, just as though it was somebody you cared about who were giving you those lessons. So I hope this was an encouraging video for you. I am Te-Erika Patterson. I'm here in Miami, future relationship therapist, and giving you all the good stuff that I learned in class, and I hope that you are blessed.